Today is Friday, Parashat Vaera. Parashat of this week includes in it 7 out of the 10 plagues that Hashem brought on the Egyptians. Now we should understand that the 10 plagues did not happen just in a haphazard way. There is a reason for them happening in that specific order. Not just that. Actually, Rabbi Yehuda used to group them into 3 groups, like we say in the Haggadah. Rabbi Yehuda Simanim, De'etzach, Adash, Ve'ahav. De'etzach is the first group, Dam, Tzfardei, Kinim, blood, frogs, lice. Adash, Arov, Dever, Shehin, which is mixed wild animals. And then Dever is the plague of the animals that died. Shechin is the boils that people had on their skin. And then the third group, Ve'achav, Barad, which is hail, Arbe, locust, Choshech, Makat Bechorot, which is the death of the firstborn. So the way that the plagues progress is we start first on the ground level. Blood was in the river, that's pretty much ground level. Frogs was also ground level. Then kenim, lice, grains of sand turning into lice. That's also ground level. Then we move to the next level. Adash, Arov, the wild animals. These are animals, they're not ground level. They walk around, they devour the Egyptians and leave the Jewish people alone. Dever is the plague of the animals that died. And then Shechin, boils. So that's higher than just ground level. Then we move up, the third grouping, Barad, which is hail. And the hail had fire mixed within. It was ice and hail, ice and fire together. That comes from up there. Locust is also up in the sky, flying with clouds of locust. Choshech is darkness that moves even higher up, where there was no sun that didn't shine for a few days. And then we have Bechorot, the death of the firstborn, which is beyond even the physical, to know how to differentiate between who was the firstborn, whether the firstborn for his father or the firstborn for his mother. Either way, they died in the Makat Bechorot. The message here actually is an important message being delivered. The Egyptians thought that everything in the world was an automatic pilot, that there are rules of science and rules of physics, and things cannot change because they're already set in motion, and that's it. That's the way it is. There is no divine interference, in other words. In other words, things cannot be changed. The sun rises at a certain time, and he'll go at the certain time. And what the plagues prove to Paro is that Hashem is in full control. Yes, there is nature and there is science, but they're under Hashem's control. And Hashem can change the rules at will. And the proof was in the plagues, starting from the bottom, from the ground up. Water can turn into blood. One frog can send out thousands and millions of frogs. And even sand can turn into a louse. That's being in control. That's beyond what is technically natural, which Hashem makes happen just as a miracle every day anyways. Anything that happens in nature is in itself a sort of a miracle that was made by Hashem. But through the plagues, Hashem showed that Hashem can intervene and change what is the customarily what happens day to day. Wild animals, when they're hungry, they should make no difference between a Jew and a non-Jew. But they were selective. Same thing for the Dever. The plague of the animals made a difference. After all, typically bacteria doesn't make a difference. No, but Hashem shows him that Hashem is in control. Shechin, boils again. The Egyptians get plagued and the Jewish no. And then we continue, Barad, that is showing against the laws of nature that fire and ice can live together in the hail that fell. That's a proof, another proof to Paro. As we move up to the higher spheres, then locusts can come and live as they directed by Hashem. And then darkness. The Egyptians were incredibly sophisticated in their astronomy. They built the pyramid with windows that knew exactly the position of the sun to shine through that window in the pyramid and to go all the way down, bounce off walls all the way inside the pyramid. Yes, but Hashem can change the laws of nature, in a sense, because nature anyway is under his control. So he made it so there was no sun for a number of days. So, and then finally, Makat Bechorot, that Hashem knows the soul, that each person, even if he was not the firstborn for his mother, whether he's the firstborn for his father. And that shows how Hashem is in control, and that was the proof to Paro that the world is not an automatic pilot, that Hashem is involved in every single day. And to conclude the story about Rabbi Hanina ben Dosa, who was an incredibly pious person. In the Gemara it says that the whole world was being sustained thanks to his merit. But he had a difficult, in terms of Parnasai, he was not affluent, not wealthy. Actually, even one time in his household, they didn't have oil to light the Shabbat candle. And what Rabbi Hanina ben Dosa told them, do you have vinegar? They said yes. And he said, Hashem who told the oil to light will tell the vinegar to light. Why did he precede it by saying the Hashem who told the oil to light will tell the vinegar to light? To indicate that even the fact that oil lights a wick is in itself a miracle, not just the vinegar lighting up, even the oil. And the one who tells the oil to light, which is typically what's common in nature, will tell the vinegar to light, so that Hashem can make things happen. And that's one of the messages of the parasha of this week as we go through the plagues, that Hashem is in control of the universe, and anything that happens that seems to be just the way of nature is actually because Hashem makes it happen. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen, and Shabbat Shalom.